71.
John's a win.
And I said, fuck you is whatever I say it is. So welcome to episode 71 of me not starting the timer in time, but now I did, so it counts.
Oh, we started?
Yeah, that was a sleek intro, man. It was like just kind of woo, and then it was episode 71.
It sounded like you were just bitching about John.
Of TBJ, the blade job.
The blade job.
Usually you don't like make the T a part of the acronym, but I did. TBJ.
Yeah, no, that's cool. We can do whatever we want, because nobody owns us.
I went to school with a kid whose nickname was TBJ.
Tuberculosis Jones?
Tuberculosis Jones. Is that like a really sad Cheech and Chong skit?
Yeah.
That is sad.
Yeah.
Because Basketball Jones was great.
Yeah.
You might know who we are.
I'm Scott Perkins. I'm
Who?
high voltage Scott Perkins.
So here's the funny part. Scott's back. John's not here.
I killed him.
Apparently.
We had beef.
It's what's for dinner.
Yeah, last night I made some fucking really good steak.
Did you?
On the grill.
The girl?
On the grill. And then I bought a new cast iron pan at Cracker Barrel the other night, and it has Paul Revere on the back.
Cracker Barrel. That's
American as fuck.
Hold on.
Yeah, no,
follow
I
us
know.
on Twitter at The Blade Job Show. Follow Scott at Blade Job Perkins. Follow Steel Trash Can at Steel Trash Can. Follow John Olin at, I don't know, he ain't here. I can't remember his Twitter handle.
I think it's Blade Job J. Olin or something
Sure,
like that.
why not? Do the subscribing and the listening to the product on the YouTubes and on the Spotify and on the iHeartRadio.
Google Play.
And the Google Play and the iTunes if you are buying an iPhone for whatever reason.
Yeah, don't do that. They're not as good.
But anyways, back to Cracker Barrel. That's a great transition because the main event of Double or Nothing by All Elite Wrestling featured a Cracker Barrel in the ring because that's what the Bucks do, even though they weren't in the main event.
That's okay. They still like it.
They do. So yeah, All Elite Wrestling is officially here. Double or Nothing. My mic is in a weird position because I let John use it last week.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. All Elite Wrestling is here. They are real. They are no longer a t-shirt company. They are a professional wrestling organization.
Hell yeah, boys. Proud of you.
And I know, like, it exceeded my expectations, and my expectations were very high for what they were going to do. I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew that it was something special. And it hit all of the right emotional notes. I felt like it was just they knew what people wanted, and they didn't cater to them. They just did good wrestling. They just said, okay, you know, like, 'cause, I mean, obviously there's no precedence for them right now. There's no previously on, because I don't consider All In to count at all. And so they had no real storylines to work with, but they spent the entire show creating those storylines. And if you didn't watch Double or Nothing, I'm going to talk about everything. So
I didn't watch it, but you can talk about it. It's okay. I'm drawing Dwayne the Cock Johnson.
I get it.
See, he's got the eyebrow.
I understand, yes.
And the bull tattoo.
It's not there anymore. Didn't he get a new bull tattoo?
I don't know, but I'm drawing it from memory.
Based on the classic Dwayne the Cock Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Johnson is also a euphemism for a penis.
Yeah, it is.
Double dick entendre.
Double down. Double or Nothing. I keep calling it Double Down, but that's the sandwich at fucking KFC where they use chicken instead of bread.
It's insanity.
They still make those. You can still get it, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just need chicken and some lettuce and some
bacon
and mayonnaise or something.
Cheese.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I feel like going into their next show, there's a lot going on all of a sudden. Like they made sure not to just make this a fan service show. They made sure to look at it and go, okay, this is our launching point. Like, we need to start, if we want to be a professional wrestling organization, you know, you got to have storylines. You got to know, you know, you can blur the line between face and heel if you want, but you got to have at least that line of who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, who's the fan behind, you know, who are they for? And I think they hit it. I mean, after Double or Nothing, like a quick fantasy book of what the next show might look like.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley.
Okay.
Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes versus the Young Bucks. That's official. That's a match.
It'll be awesome.
Holy shit. Hangman Page versus it'll be Hangman Page versus Chris Jericho for the AEW World Championship. We're probably going to see a feud. I think it's going to be Havoc and MJF, which MJF might die.
Yeah,
because Havoc he's an insane person.
Yeah, no, he's not well.
Oh God. I wonder who the Lucha Bros are gonna feud with, because the Bucks are still. Oh, I wonder if Goldie and fucking Cody are gonna go for the AAA tag team titles. I wonder if that'll be a title match. Because
the
Young
Lucha
Bucks.
Bros.
Retained.
And they're all.
Young Bucks and so All In. I thought the biggest downfall of All In was that rushed main event. And
yes, I was thinking of Double or Nothing, and never mind. But yeah, All In.
Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks was pretty much on par with my favorite tag team match of all time, EYFBO versus the Lucha Bros.
Oh yeah,
this
that was
was
a good
on
match.
par with
People
that.
threw money in the ring.
This was absolutely bananas. I think that's a good word for it. It was bananas. Crazy bananas.
BANANAS.
Yes, Gwen Stefani. Thank you.
Oh, she's so hot.
Yeah. Isn't she married to the guy from Bush?
She was. Now she's married to the guy from Stuffed Crust Pizza.
Papa John?
No.
The guy who owns Pizza Hut.
No, he's a country singer. I forget his name. He's a goober. I've seen him in concert.
I'm sorry.
Blake Shelton. She's married to Blake Shelton.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know. He was married to Miranda Lambert, who's
Also
equally
don't
as
know who that
blonde
is.
and equally as like ridiculously good looking as Gwen Stefani. And it's like, dude, fuck off, because he's a goofy looking fuck.
Okay. It's kind of like, I don't know his name, but Scarlett Johansson's husband or boyfriend.
Oh, she's married to
He's just like a dude.
Hannibal Buress.
No.
Oh.
That would be weird.
No, he did a bit about the time he met Scarlett Johansson. It was pretty funny.
ScarJo. Hannibal Buress is actually. I didn't think he was funny. I think the first time I really saw him was Eric Andre.
Oh, dude, he was on 30 Rock. And
I never watched 30
Dude,
Rock.
he played a homeless guy in 30 Rock and was in like a couple episodes. I think he was a writer, but he was fucking hilarious.
30 Rock's one of those shows that I've always meant to watch because it's a fictional version of SNL. And
yeah.
That sounds fan. And I mean, you've got all these SNL actors in it.
It's quite silly.
And I've always meant to watch it, and I just never have. Like, I'm a huge Tracy Morgan fan. I'm a huge Alec Baldwin fan. I think Alec Baldwin is absolutely
like the
brilliant.
show.
And Tina Fey was potentially the best writer in SNL history, and no one gives her the credit she deserves for how funny the skits she wrote was.
Yeah, no, she's fucking hilarious. Like, she's really good.
So anyways, but yeah, Double or Nothing.
Double down
at KFC featuring Jon Moxley. Obviously Moxley showing up was huge because it was funny because I thought that there could be a huge debut. Jon Moxley, CM Punk, someone that everyone wants.
Yeah.
But you're like, I don't know if he'll actually do it. The show
Well, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you still think Dean Ambrose leaving WWE is a work?
Yes.
Okay.
He's on. This is a huge work. He's undercover for Vince McMahon, just like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were in '96 for WCW. This is Vince McMahon's special. Even though, if you remember, Great American Bash '96,
Like it was yesterday.
Bischoff calls out Scott Hall and Kevin Nash to answer their challenge and say, we've got guys, and at Bash at the Beach, you'll have your match in the ring. And for legal purposes, Bischoff talks about this on the Monday Night Wars documentary, I think. For legal purposes, he has to go, first and foremost, I ask both of you a question. Do you work for the World Wrestling Federation? And they both had to say no live on the air so they could continue doing the storyline where they kept implying that they worked for the WWF. And I thought that was because they covered their asses. They said, they looked pretty much directly at the camera and said, no, I do not work for the WWF. And then they went ahead saying, like, hey, we're invading from the WWF. And then they powerbombed Eric Bischoff off the stage.
I don't know if I hate Eric Bischoff or not.
I love Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, I guess I do.
We'll get to that in the second half. Because I actually do want to talk about Ebish for a while.
Okay.
That's what we call him, Ebish. Like, we're tight.
Yeah, you and like the 4 other people who watched WCW all the way to the end.
Hey, there was like 18 of us.
Literally dozens of us.
The dozens and dozens of Mankind's fans. Fucking love Mick Foley. Noelle Foley was sitting like front row.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone was there. I swear to God, I saw Tony Schiavone in the crowd like 5 times. There were a lot, I think, of wrestling personalities in that crowd because they were like, fuck yeah, this is cool. But anyways, so we all wanted CM Punk or John Moxley or someone to show up. But the show was so good that when Moxley did show up, I kind of forgot that I wanted him there. And that was the exciting part, is like I was surprised because I kind of forgot about it.
You know what was cool? Is Cody didn't be like, coming up tonight, special appearance by John Moxley. You know, like, it was a legit surprise.
I watched an interview with Cody, because obviously with StarCast and with everything, they've been doing interviews left and right over the past couple of days. And I watched an interview with Cody where he pretty much said, we want to surprise people again. And I think that was obviously a little jab because WWE is so focused on ratings.
Yeah.
That they're like, hey, The Rock's going to be here next week. And it's like, to me, if I had the aspect of The Rock might show up at any time, I'd be more inclined to watch than you telling me that he's going to be there.
Right.
Because if anyone could show up at any time, why wouldn't I tune in every week? You know, and you know, number one, first and foremost, this show, this episode is going to praise AEW for what they did last night. I'm not all of a sudden anti-WWE.
No, I plan on shitting that on them a little bit, but I still love WWE.
It's still wrestling, and I think that's still a good thing. There's no reason, like, even if you don't like booking and you don't like the way Vince is running the company, you can't. But they've Money in the Bank had AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And I know you said you didn't watch it, but you can imagine how good that was.
Yeah, no, I'm probably going to watch that today because, you know,
honestly,
I pay my $10 goddamn dollars.
Honestly, Money in the Bank from beginning till 5 minutes before the end was brilliant. It was a really, really good WWE pay-per-view. It was solid. The ladder matches were great. The undercard was great. The main event was great. Up until the end.
Yep.
But you know, that's burnout. We are burnt out from Bork Lobster.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck anymore. But the ratings went up the next night. So we're just you're showing them that you want Brock Lesnar, and then you're saying how much you don't want Brock Lesnar, because the only reason you tuned in because you wanted to see if Brock was going to cash in on Monday. That's what they wanted you to do. But you know what? Had they utilized someone like Ambrose better and Ambrose won it, I think a lot of hardcore fans would have tuned in Monday to find out if Ambrose had cashed in. Ambrose versus Rollins for the Universal title. Like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. Didn't work out that way. Obviously, we know that Ambrose, it still could be a work. But,
Brock Lesnar, to me, he's the 2019 version of Hulk Hogan. And I'm going to say this. I like Hulk Hogan better than Brock Lesnar. And I think most of you know how much I don't really care for the Hulkster.
So, I always, when talking about Hogan, I always like to think about it in pre-ignorance, or being ignorant of everything that happened.
Well, then, yes, Hulk Hogan is truly one of the greats of all time.
It's one of those situations where I try to think of it before we knew that he was being a dickbag and before we knew he was kind of a racist prick. Like, I think of, like, how did Hulk Hogan make me feel when I was a kid? How did Hulk Hogan make me feel when I was watching?
It was awesome.
Well, it was like, so like, obviously I was a huge WCW fan. I loved the pot shots that WCW took at WWF back in the day because I was such a WCW guy. And I was like, yeah, fuck the WWF. I still watched it, but, I preferred WCW. And now as an adult and with a little more knowledge of how things work and a little more knowledge of how things were working back then, I watch these episodes of Nitro or these pay-per-views and I see Hogan doing these superhuman things and I'm like, it's not because he's a superhuman, it's because he bitched and whined until he got the booking he wanted.
Yep. And that's how I feel about Brock Lesnar. It's like, dude, we thought you were going away. We thought, you were done at least for a while.
I started watching more when he went away.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those things. I just want main guys to be there. When Stone Cold Steve Austin, his career, he was riddled with injuries. But you know what? Even when he wasn't able to wrestle, he had a fucking feud with Vince McMahon where they'd get physical, but it wasn't like an actual match. And that was one of the most fucking, like, captivating storylines WWE's ever had. And it's like Steve Austin was legitimately injured and he still fucking showed up every week because he was their top guy. If Brock Lesnar wants to be the top guy, act like it. That's it. He's a very good wrestler. There's no two ways about that. He is a superhuman athlete. There's no two ways about that.
Like, because you gotta look at it in
pretend to care.
In the shoot world, not many people are NCAA champions.
No.
Not many people are UFC champions. And those are legitimate competitive sports. Now keep that, I'm not saying professional wrestling is not legitimate. I'm saying they're not competitive sports.
He also played in the NFL just because he felt like it.
And he could, because they looked at him and they said, yeah, all right.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't great at that, but
neither was Reigns, but
how many games have you suited up for the fucking
the NFL?
Minnesota Vikings?
3.
Oh, fuck. You didn't even tell me about that.
Well, it's a part of my life I'm not proud of. Oh, just to make clear, I was a cheerleader.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, never
Still
mind.
Counts.
Still counts. All
Do
right.
cheerleaders get Super Bowl rings?
Oh, yeah. I think Tom Collins, has... They won't give him one, but he has the option to buy one.
For, like, $1,000.
Yeah.
For, like, a shitty replica.
Well, when the Pats went to the Super Bowl, he showed me this bag that they gave everybody. And it was like $1,000 worth of shit.
Just swag.
There was like a Bluetooth speaker, Patriots fucking, like, really nice sweatshirts. And they left the price tag on everything. Everything was like a minimum of $90.
They probably walked into the fucking pro shop and just went, all right, we need 30 of these, okay. We need 20 of these, okay.
Yeah, he gave me a bunch of shit that he got
gave me a bunch of shit
when the Patriots won the Super Bowl. And it's like, he doesn't even work for the fucking Patriots. He works for like
the Kraft Group.
Yeah. It's like he works for another company that
So
Robert
his
Kraft.
boss likes to get blowjobs from Asian hookers.
It's sad handies. It's handies, not blowjobs.
No, they said her face moved to his crotch. That's a blowy.
Well, that evidence is inadmissible in court, and it was thrown out. So
I'd watch the video. I'm just saying. Because I'm a sick fuck.
You would watch a 90-year-old man get a gummer.
Well, no, she has teeth.
Oh.
I'm assuming.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Anyways.
Free Robert Kraft. Free Robert Kraft.
No one fucking cares.
I know.
No one fucking cares.
It's like, dude, his wife's dead. He's old.
Isn't his girlfriend like 30?
No. He's not dating her anymore. I don't think.
Because after his fucking blowjob
No.
from a hooker?
No. That was a long time ago.
No, they were talking about it on the
were they?
radio.
I don't know.
His girlfriend's like in her 30s or like early 40s or something.
Well,
She's
fuck
like
yeah.
easily half his age.
Good for
I mean, he's
him.
rich, so
Yeah,
that's how
good
it
for
works.
him. Dude, if I was a billionaire and they were just like, well, you're single now.
Speaking of...
Asian hooker. Steel Panther? Yeah.
It's good. It's good. That whole album's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, there was during one of the interviews, Cody's talking about his time in WWE, and he's like, honestly, I have nothing bad to say about WWE. I loved my time there. I mean, I got to work with my dad, and I met my wife. Actually, Dusty introduced us, and all I can picture is Dusty like, hey, Cody,
baby, come here.
you
I got
see,
this
you gotta
nice
see
young
this girl
lady
right here.
for you.
Oh, she's this hot ethnic girl. Oh yeah, like all I can picture is just Dusty like, come meet my son.
Like kind of dancing, but not.
Well, he's fucking the American dream, man.
Dude, Dusty was
The man.
legit. He was a legitimate like.
And here again kind of lies the reason I was more of a WCW guy. I liked the NWA style performers more than I liked the WWF or Capital Wrestling style performers. Like when they had Hogan and Warrior and Macho Man at the time.
Oh yeah.
NWA and Jim Crockett Promotions had Flair and Anderson and Dusty.
Sting,
and it's like
Sting.
Those Southern style wrestlers, those old school fucking Georgia wrestlers, go do some wrestling. They were my jam. Like I will watch a Dusty Rhodes match before I will watch anyone from the 80s or 90s in WWF. Anyone. The
80s
only
or 90s?
like early 90s, like
okay.
golden era kind of. The only WWF,
I was gonna say,
the only WWF
on.
from the 80s and the 90s that is like I think tight is when Flair and Dusty were there.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like Dusty Rhodes is just
a young Shawn Michaels coming up. That's always worth
if
watching.
if you talk like old school, like if you split wrestling kind of into two parts, you've got like 1993 and forward, and then 1992 and backwards. Obviously, Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels are kind of like the best of that newer generation.
Yep.
Obviously, not the new generation, but
no, they're still better than them.
But if you go back, I mean, Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair are they might even overtake Jericho and Michaels as the greatest performers of all time.
I disagree, but
Ric Flair,
they're not far behind.
I think Ric Flair's career in general, if you actually look at Shawn Michaels' career, I think that Shawn and Rick had very similar careers, but Rick, he was always a heel, pretty much.
Yeah, until the very, very, very end.
And even then, it was only because of nostalgia
that
he was a face. It was kind of like, like they talk about, heels and faces now with like AEW. What matters? This is a great segue.
That was pretty good.
Last night at Double or Nothing, Chris Jericho was getting booed because he was saying heel things, and the crowd was treating him like the heel, and it felt so good.
But everyone in that crowd
was so
loves
excited.
Chris Jericho.
Exactly. MJF, we all know he's a phenomenal performer.
If you don't, you should.
And he cuts these amazing heel promos, and you can't help but boo the guy.
Yeah.
Because he does his job.
But he's such a nice guy.
If you can get him to break character for 5 minutes.
He's the nicest
because
fucking
he never, he lives the gimmick.
Yeah.
Like, even when he's like, well, I'll see him like selling shirts at a Beyond show. He still acts super annoyed to every person that comes up to him because he's just living the gimmick. And I think that's great.
Oh, I can't believe you want to give me $20 for one of these shirts.
Oh my god! You know who seems like he'd be an asshole in real life, like outside of character, but actually is, I think, super nice, is David Starr. He's so friendly. He's such a nice dude.
He's sweet as pie.
Like, because I've talked to him for more than like 2 seconds twice, I think, and he's just fucking friendly. He's just a nice dude. That was off topic, but anyways, with heels and faces and stuff like that, I think AEW is definitely going to focus on the blurred line of heel and face, but already they're booking and they're making their performers act in a way that gets it across without going like, because obviously at some point. So what Cody was saying is they're gonna kind of like fly by the seat of their pants when it comes to who to push, who's hot, who's not, who's a heel, who's a face, by essentially going along with the crowd. I think it was a slight shot at WWE. They're pretty much like, if someone's getting booed, we're going to roll with it. And we're going to make them a top heel. If someone catches on fire, you can't wait until 6 months to see what you can do with them. You need to roll with them now. Yeah. Like, they're on fire. You need to go. Put a belt on them. They also said they're allowed to call it the belt, which I think is nice.
That's good.
It's... Oh God! So I'm so over the place, all over the place, because I'm still riding this high from last night. It was so we always complain about WWE pay-per-views going
wears
long.
Off after about 4 hours.
WWE pay-per-views being too long. This pay-per-view was like 4.5 hours long.
Right. The difference between.
But I didn't feel like it was 4.5 hours.
If you can have banger after banger and fucking keep everyone's attention, 4 hours isn't long for a pay-per-view. If you have a shitty match and then a fucking 15-minute performance by Flo Rida and then another shitty match, like, yeah, that's an hour of my life that I'm not going to fucking get back.
It's true.
Like, I don't need to see that shit. But if you're going to fucking...
His name is Florida. I get it.
Yep. There's a town in Massachusetts called Florida. It's breathtaking.
Is it?
Unless you see the houses, then they all have like the blue tarp roofs and
so
or
it's a
falling
town.
Down. Yeah, it really is though. Like, that's right where Route 2 goes, right before it hits North Adams. It's way out west, but it's like when there's no houses, it's the most beautiful town. You're just like driving in the mountains, in the woods. It's fucking awesome.
On the side of the street, there's usually a cowboy rolling his own cigarette.
No, there's nothing. There's like deer. It's pretty rad.
I saw 2 deer on my way to work the other day.
Were they fucking?
No, they were just crossing the road.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like,
kids
hey,
don't
deers.
need to see that shit. I said, oh, hey, Ryan. How are you today?
Yo, I was not that high. I might have been. No. I don't know.
You can't smoke marijuana and drive, but...
I ate a bunch of gummies
That's
and then
illegal.
went to bed and then I watched the end of Great American Bash, and I don't really remember much.
Yeah.
I know it was the Giant versus Lex Luger for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
What was Lex Luger's problem? Like, why could he never...
So I
like, he
look
could
at
never
Lex
quite
Luger.
do it.
So Luger was one of those guys where he was a football player turned wrestler, just like a lot of guys.
Bodybuilder.
He was a bodybuilder, and I've seen a lot of Lex Luger matches lately. He was okay. He was never great. I don't really know. I think his career was so good because he was liked.
He had the look. Like, he absolutely had the look.
100%. But, like, I watch him bump, and he bumps like someone who just transitioned over from football.
Yeah.
But he's like 10 years in. So I'm like, okay, you haven't learned how to take a bump yet. I think Lex Luger succeeded because he was wrestling in a time where his opponents were so unbelievably good that they made him look good. Because where I'm watching in WCW right now, he's just coming off his last run in WCW before he went back to WWF was with Sting.
Yeah.
Sting can wrestle a fucking mop. He comes back and he feuds with like Flair and Arn Anderson, and then kind of with Sting a little bit, and Macho Man.
Yep.
Just guys who can, like, it's funny because you look at like a dude like Arn Anderson. He's kind of just a fat bald guy, but he's also one of the best like ring tacticians of all time. And there's a reason that he was a backstage trainer and talent guy for so long.
Yeah, until Alicia Fox showed up drunk.
Yeah, and then he ends up getting fired for it. Well, allegedly gets fired. Either way, he don't work there anymore.
Shaniqua don't live here no more.
No, Shaniqua still lives there.
Oh.
She lives where Mick Foley's office used to be, under the staircase.
The boiler room?
Yeah. Fucking it's Lex Luger, I think, was just right place, right time.
Yeah.
Because I watch him now and I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't see it. Especially when at that time your main event stars were Sting and Flair and Anderson and even Kevin Sullivan, who's a weird fucking dude. He's a good wrestler. And there's a reason he's, looked at as one of the greats of that era.
Yeah.
And he's way past his prime in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
But he's still like he did a Falls Count Anywhere match with Chris Benoit, and it was a hell of a fight. Just I even as the Taskmaster, which was such a stupid fucking gimmick, I loved Kevin Sullivan. And what I didn't know?
What's that?
Woman before she was Nancy Benoit was Nancy Sullivan.
Yeah. I
did not know that. That's a piece of information that just kind of stumbled across.
I knew that.
I did not know that. I also I had someone say like
she was in the old EC dub.
I had someone ask me, "Hey, how come we don't see Woman anymore?" And I went, "Well, mainly because she's Nancy Benoit." And he went, "What?" And I'm like, "Yup, that's Nancy Benoit. And if you don't know what happened to her, you haven't been paying attention."
Been murdered.
And that was an awkward moment, but I'm glad that I have.
That's all right, dude. I've had 32 years of awkward moments. Most days.
Most days. Back to AEW, because I just like AEW right now. They fell victim to the pre-show syndrome, I felt, where the pre-show was good, like the pre-show matches were fine, but you have a battle royal with 21 people in it. Let's say 19 of them, 15 of them have never been in front of a crowd like this, and you could tell. There were a lot of like people standing in the ring looking around like, what am I supposed to do now? It wasn't a bad battle royal. It was just, it was awkward at times. It was good though. OC was in it.
Yeah.
And he, did the whole thing where he kept his hands in his pockets and then did his kip up. And then he got tossed over the top rope and he just kind of sat on the floor like, aw. It was Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. Just doing an Orange Cassidy thing.
It was obviously canceling the Hangman Pac match. I was like, I mean, if you didn't think that Hangman was going to be the final entrant into the Battle Royal, like you're not paying attention because he's the young kid who, give him the belt now, build him up, and he is He's the youngest member of the Elite.
by far.
Okay.
He's super young.
Yeah, he's only like 22 or 23 or something like that.
Cody's in his late 30s, right? And
Late to mid, early to mid, I think.
I think the Jacksons are roughly, they've got to be right around 30. And he's like 23, 4, 5, something like that. But Cody Rhodes'
So first I'm looking up Cody. And I still remain, I'm not a huge Cody Rhodes guy. His match with Dustin last night turned me around a little bit on Cody Rhodes. And it's not because of his in-ring style. It's not because of his look. It's not because he's the executive vice president of this company. It's because he went out there and he told a story in the ring, which I feel is turning into a lost art of telling, leading up to it. The whole, this isn't brother versus brother. This is generation versus generation. You guys paved the way for us, but you set the speed marker at 35, and you're just afraid that we're going to put our feet down on the fucking pedal. And it was just like, what a promo. And then,
how old is he?
I don't fucking know. He's 33.
Okay.
His birthday's in a month.
Oh,
June 30th.
Birthday, Cody.
Cody. Magnum TA's his godfather.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. I saw Magnum TA get beat up by Tony Atlas. They're both very old.
Very, very old.
As is John Cena Sr.
Nice guy.
John Sr.
Matt is 34.
So Nick's got to be like 30.
Nick's 29.
29, yeah. Yeah.
I also
and then
just have to say, Matt Jackson's the better Jackson because he has sweet sideburns.
He does have sweet sideburns. I've always liked Matt better for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I like, because Nick is one of the best high flyers on the planet.
Yeah.
But there's something about Matt Jackson, the way he talks, the way his like mannerisms. He's always kind of twitchy and goofy. He's just so endearing to me. Nick seems like he's almost like more the straight-laced one a little bit.
Yeah.
Another team that I was just never. I liked their time in Ring of Honor, what I saw of it, and I liked their time in New Japan, what I saw of it, and I've seen them wrestle live once, and I was a big fan. I thought this was a lot of fun, but I was never like a Young Bucks guy.
I love them. I think that they are.
Oh, Paige is 27.
Oh, is he? I thought he was way younger.
Yeah, me too.
All right, fuck him.
Yeah.
Shouldn't win the championship.
His birth name is Stevie Waltz.
Stevie Waltz. No, that's all right.
Because Omega has to be like in his 30s,
mid-30s. I think he might be the old man.
Oh.
Kenny Omega.
He's 35.
35, yeah. So he's exactly mid-30s.
Oh, and fucking Justin Roberts last night, he announces Jericho. Jericho comes out, and then he announces Kenny Omega, and he goes, now making his way to the ring. Also from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And I was like, you didn't need the also. That's just awkward and weird. I am not a Justin Roberts fan. I wasn't a fan in WWE, and I don't think I'll be a fan in AEW of Justin Roberts. Maybe he'll get his shit together now that he has a little more leeway to how he announces people. I don't know. JR did great, I think. But you can tell this obviously isn't JR from 97. This is old JR.
JR is the greatest play-by-play man in all of wrestling. No one has ever come close to JR. Not fucking Michael Cole, who... Michael Cole's
not bad.
Good. He's good.
He's boring.
But JR is... He's simply the best, better than all the rest.
Yeah.
Come on, that was a pretty good joke.
No,
fuck you guys. Yeah. But yeah, JR is by far the best, and so just watching him.
You know who's not the best?
Who?
Alex Marvez.
Who's Alex Marvez?
The guy who they also had on commentary with JR and Excalibur.
Oh, Excalibur's good. I like
Excalibur's great. Excalibur's fantastic.
Just a fat guy in a luchador.
So do you remember the Double or Nothing press conference, the one outside by the pool?
Oh yeah, no.
So Alex Marvez was the guy with fucking Conrad, and apparently he is like some sort of sports analyst or some shit. He was staring at the camera. If they were doing that, because they had their commentary table set up into the back like WCW used to do.
Yeah.
And so they would have the cameraman, so they'd be facing the camera and you can see the ring behind them and everything.
Yeah.
And while like JR and Excalibur were talking like back and forth and then to the camera and then to each other, he's just staring intently
Deer
into
in
the
the
camera.
headlights.
Oh my god, it was super awkward. It was very weird. Very, very weird. Billy Gunn looked great.
Yeah.
Give him a lot of credit for how good he looked for being. Might as well look at his age too.
Did he wrestle?
55. Yeah, he was in the Battle Royal, and he looked really good.
Yeah, I mean that's not all him, which is kind of why he's not in WWE anymore.
You talking about steroids?
Listen, I didn't say any of that. I'm just saying his testosterone was 14 times the normal level when he got fired from WWE.
I saw an interview with Al Snow the other day.
Yeah?
And he started doing he was telling the story, and he's like I was looking at like, so I guess his wife is a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And he's like, we train in two different ways. She trains like a bodybuilder, I train like a pro wrestler. And so he started doing research on like pro wrestlers and strongmen from like the late 1800s, early 1900s, because they didn't know what calories were. They didn't know what carbs were. They didn't have any supplements, but they were huge. So he started looking into how they trained, and he started training like a strongman from the late 1800s. He is ripped right now. Al Snow is huge. I love Al. He also spent half the interview talking to Head because he will never give up that gimmick. He looks great though. He's fucking jacked.
Holy fucking hell.
Right? That's Al Snow. Like, he was kind of a chubby dude in the Attitude Era. And now he's just shredded.
What the fuck?
I know.
Dude, yeah, he always wore that like shitty singlet and then a Job Squad t-shirt and then just like,
what does everybody want?
Wants Al Snow to have a fucking dope hardcore match.
Fucking Al Snow.
He was good. I liked Al.
He was the best mid-carder ever, in my opinion. He just he knew his role within the company.
Right, he was a lower mid-carder.
Hell, he was part of the Job Squad.
Yeah.
That was the whole joke, is they were all jobbers.
Yeah, and he absolutely
they were
was.
also, most of them were all ECW guys.
Yeah,
too.
oh yeah. What was he before like Al Snow? He was just like a regular ass guy, wasn't he?
I think he was just Al Snow.
No. He wore a mask at one point.
He probably did. My earliest memory of Al Snow was ECW.
Yeah.
I don't.
Masked Ninja. Yeah.
Masked
Shinobi.
Ninja.
Leaf Cassidy, 5-star Ninja. Yeah, I knew that he wore a fucking Shane Douglas. Shane Douglas looks like shit.
I mean, he could look a lot worse.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, especially for a guy who kind of like...
Whoa. Al Snow was in Rudy.
That's weird.
That's awesome. Good for him.
But you look at, like, you know, you look at the territories, and Al Snow did fine for himself. He won titles. He won, you know, did whatever. But, like, you look at WWE, you know, 1-time European, 6-time hardcore. That's not many. Raven was like 27
He only
time
had
hardcore.
the hardcore 6 times?
And he's a 1-time tag team with Foley.
I would imagine his hardcore reigns, though, were rather long. Like,
Yeah,
for a belt
'cause
that really changed hands.
I think it was Al Snow was champion when they started the 24/7 rule, because he would like hide places and
Yep.
people would try to find him. And he had that long feud with like Crash Holly or something like that.
Crash Holly, like, he was a guy right place, right time. Like, happened to look like Bob Holly and fucking... Yeah.
You know, and he looked like a mini Bob Holly. So they're like, dye your hair blonde, and we're gonna put you with one of.
He's another like excellent mid card fucking.
Yeah, but Bob Holly was also an old school guy, and he was still big in the mentality of people need to pay their dues, and their dues were stiff forearms.
I think Ken Shamrock said he was the one guy he was afraid of.
Have you seen Bob Holly now?
No.
He's still huge.
He's still a fucking lunatic.
He's a fucking massive human being. And I listened to him on Art of Wrestling a couple years ago, and he claims he's never taken anything other than your basic supplements.
Than your basic steroids. Oh. Yeah. He looks exactly the fucking same.
Just a couple more lines on his face.
Yeah, a couple more lines, and his muscles are a bit bigger, but holy shit, he does not look like he's fucking really aged.
No.
Good for him.
And he's got to be, what, 60? 55?
He is 56.
Oh, it's pretty close.
Thurman Sparky Plug.
Is that his birth name?
His birth name is Robert William Howard Jr. I like third.
So he has 3 first names, but he's also junior.
Yeah.
So there was another guy
Yes.
who also had 3 first names. He's like, I got 3 first names. I'm going to name my son my 3 first names. He could have just moved them in different orders. What the fuck?
Yeah. I watched this show on Hulu called Catch-22, and it's about the Air Force in World War II.
It's also based on a classic novel.
Yeah, it's really good. And there's a kid named Major, and he's a sergeant, and they fuck up his paperwork, and they're like, well, you're already on all the paperwork, so congratulations, Major. So his name's Major. And he, like, doesn't know what to do, like, when he's an officer.
I don't know what to do with my rank. A-dub.
Well, we have, like, 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. What was there something else you wanted to talk about? I don't remember what
Saudi Arabia.
Blood Money 2.
Blood Money 2. A lot of guys aren't going, and I'm proud of them.
That's what, yeah, I'm seeing Kevin Owens backed out.
Yep, Sammy, D-Bry, Aleister Black.
Well, Aleister Black, they're saying they won't let him go because his tattoos.
Oh, yeah, he has a bunch of Satanist tattoos.
Because apparently it's offensive to the royal family. It's just like how women aren't allowed there.
Fuck the royal family.
This is...
It's a cash grab.
Well, no, and so, okay.
No, it's 100% a cash grab.
It is. However, everyone seems to think like, oh, they can just pull out of this whenever they want.
They can't.
They cannot. They're talking a $1 billion lawsuit if they break this contract.
And it could quite literally start a war.
I don't think it would go that far, but it could potentially...
No, but you could say that and it makes for better radio.
It could legitimately... Pulling out of that contract could legitimately bankrupt WWE.
Yeah. Or it could bankroll the XFL. So it's, 6 of one, half a dozen.
Or they go bankrupt. Vince is forced to sell to Tony Khan.
Fuck off. No, but
I don't want either of them to buy either of them.
No.
I want 2 wrestling companies.
Yeah.
I want WWE.
It's awesome.
And I want AEW.
I can't wait till AEW's on TNT because I'm hoping that it's on Hulu. Then I can watch some AEW.
After last night...
I'm so jealous that you can smoke your little dumb vape pen down here. I just want to smoke a butt so bad.
I am a fan. I was, like I said, if you say you were a fan of AEW before last night, you're a liar, because you can't be a fan because there was nothing. There was no product to be a fan of.
That t-shirt you're wearing that you wear every fucking week now.
No, I've never. I did not wear this shirt until last night. It was the first time I wore it.
You're gonna have to check the tapes, but I think you're a fucking liar.
Nope. It's been sitting on the back of my computer chair since I bought it like 6 months ago.
Does John wear an AEW shirt? Do you wear an AEW? No.
Nope.
Trash Can doesn't? No. I don't know.
But I'm wearing my AEW is Jericho shirt.
Ah.
It's not just an aid, it's a Chris Jericho shirt.
Nice. I just have a cool Motorhead shirt
Also,
on.
I want to give them a lot of credit. Their logo is badass.
Yeah. It's simple.
It's got, it almost reminds me of ECW a little bit. You know, kind of boxy. And
Why don't we start the new AEW if they started the new WCW?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
And then we could get bought out.
By Vince McMahon.
Yeah. He has Saudi Arabia money.
He's got $4 billion. No, that's Ross Perot.
That's Ross Perot.
So
that girl was like, I didn't like her on all that much, but she did a great Ross Perot.
It's true. It's true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah. Lori Beth Denberg. She was the true star.
She was. She fucking was. Did you hear that the Rocko's Modern Life and Invader Zim movies are going to be on Netflix?
Yeah, I'm excited about Rocko's Modern Life.
You don't like Invader Zim?
No.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
You
must not like AEW either. You're not a real wrestling fan.
I was more of like a weird punk instead of like a weird quasi-goth. There's all the weird,
I was a metalhead, so...
Yeah, it was all the... Yeah, I was more of a punk in high school.
How many of your female friends were obsessed with Nightmare Before Christmas?
Obsessed, no, but yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing. I feel like with our generation, Nightmare Before Christmas was that like pseudo goth movie that every fucking...
Remember Donnie Darko? Chicks were like, "Oh, it's so deep." It's like, no, the movie just fucking blows.
I don't like Donnie Darko.
That movie was so fucking bad. And I think Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor.
And everyone's like, "Oh, you just don't understand it." It's like, no, I understand it.
It's like
it
doesn't
garbage.
have a fucking plot. It's not a good
movie.
movie.
No, it's told in reverse, essentially.
Yeah, so is fucking Pulp Fiction, but Pulp Fiction's actually fucking good.
So is fucking Fight Club, if you really look at it. They tell the story in reverse, even though the story is in chronological order.
Yeah.
But then again, also, good movie.
Good movie, good book.
I still haven't read the book, and I heard he wrote a sequel to it.
Yeah.
And I heard it was really good.
Yeah, it's a good book.
So I should read that at some point.
It makes
you know what I really want to read? A novel that I've never read, Jaws. I've heard the book is like 10 times better than the movie, and the movie's perfect. So I gotta check that out at some point.
Read Band of Brothers.
That's a good show.
Yeah. And it's also a book by Stephen E. Ambrose.
Ross Geller in it, and Jimmy Fallon.
Endless Mike. Endless Mike's in it. Simon Pegg's in it. Remember Endless Mike from Pete and Pete? Yep. He plays Sergeant George Luz. And Donnie Wahlberg's in it?
The other Wahlberg.
Oh, fucking Donnie's way better than Mark.
Did Donnie have a funky bunch?
No. He just... Yeah, but he had Joey Mack, though. Me and Phelan were watching Band of Brothers the other day.
Why the fuck are you watching that with a 7-year-old?
She's 9.
Still,
it's really good.
I mean, it's historical.
It's historical and fucking awesome. And I was just
graphically violent.
I was like, Phelan, did you know that man was in New Kids on the Block? And she's like, that old guy's a pop star. I was like, oh yes, that old guy is a fucking pop star.
I'm sorry, but Marky Mark was way better than fucking the New Kids. Just saying.
Dude, I was in the Czech Republic, and we were staying at this kid's house, and he was like, I have these sheets that you can use, and they were New Kids sheets, and I was like, I'm the only one from Massachusetts. I get these fucking sheets. And I fucking wrap myself up in them. They're so comfortable and fucking old.
So you're saying the Czech Republic, it was still stuck in the 90s?
Oh, no, like the 80s.
Oh.
Dude, the Czech Republic was fucking weird.
It's just like, hey, have you heard the new band? They're called Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
just came out,
dude.
It is called heavy metal.
Czech Republic, like you listening, both of you can't see, but like it's like 100 crown note, 500 crown note, 1,000 crown. Like the money gets bigger as the denomination gets bigger.
That makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Like a dollar bill is the same fucking size, whether it's a $1 or a $100 bill. It's all the same fucking size, like piece of paper.
Yeah, but how do I know? Like, I can't reach into my pocket and know which bill I'm getting. They should be bigger. This is genius.
Yeah, but when you're folding up a fucking, like, 1,000 crown note and it's the size of a regular piece of paper.
That's fine.
Ugh. It's fucking weird. Corn on pepperoni pizza. It was pepperoni and corn pizza.
That sounds really good.
It actually was. It wasn't bad.
Really good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I gotta call a pizza place right now.
Yeah. Hey, y'all got any of that corn?
You got any corn?
You got any corn for that pizza?
Or I'll order a pizza. I'll open up a can of corn, dump it on, throw it in the oven for a little bit, just to crispify that corn a little bit.
Oh yeah, open up a can of whoop ass.
No corn.
Oh.
Something takes a part of me.
Yeah. Boom bop ba doo bop ba doo. Fucking corn. But tell me not. 1999. 1999. All three of us in this room had pants that we could put on, legs over our head that way, with a t-shirt. Now, mind you, in 1999, I probably weighed 85 pounds, and I had a large t-shirt on. And
I had a triple X just because you needed something baggy.
Right. And the ball necklace that were really big. We all did it. Or a fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt that was way too big. Yeah.
Not all of your fingernails painted, but some of your fingernails painted.
I never did that.
You weren't metal enough.
No. New metal was a weird time because it was like, all right, I dig it. I'll still rock the fuck out of Kid Rock, though.
Oh, yeah.
Devil Without a Cause. If you haven't listened to that album recently, get into it.
It stands up.
Graham, you need to show the boys Kid Rock. And you'll look and you'll just go, oh, fucking Americans. And we'll go, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What did they have? The Beatles? Okay. The
Nerds.
Who?
Nerds.
Yeah, more like who?
Yeah,
Get it?
Diddle Kids.
Did they?
Yeah, Pete Townsend.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sad now.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, like, Germany's still stuck on David Hasselhoff.
Dude, yeah.
Like, he just released a new album.
Yeah, he's really good. He has a great voice.
I always thought that was a myth. And then I went to Munich and they had like murals of him painted on walls and I'm like, "Oh fuck."
I said something about David Hasselhoff, and our driver, who is the most terrifying, like 9-foot tall German punk, was like, "Dude, I thought he was going to kill me." And
do not speak
he was
ill.
Like, "Are you talking shit about David Hasselhoff? I'll fucking kill you." I was like, "Oh shit." Yenzi, man. He's a good dude.
Except he almost killed you because you talked shit about
What's up, Jens? Yeah.
He must listen.
Me and him were in Slovakia. We went to a Army-Navy store, and he bought a police baton so he could bring to soccer games.
So he could hit people during riots?
And so he flipped it out and like held it up to my neck. He goes, "Playtime's over, fun boy." And I was like, oh, cool. I get the rest of the tour with Jens.
This is going to be a really sexy night.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Speaking of sexy.
Yeah?
So,
thank you. I have been losing weight.
Cody wore his weight belt to the ring, as he does, and he took it off and tried to whip Dustin, and Dustin said no, no, no. And then Cody gets up on the second rope, Dustin hits him, he picks up the belt, looks over Cody, grabs his trunks, pulls his trunks down, and starts spanking him with the belt. It was fantastic.
Getting spanked by your older brother.
So you want to talk about the differences in WWE? We had male nudity. We had blood.
The best kind.
We had violence. We had swearing.
Fuck yeah.
Not too far. No shits or fucks, but there were a couple asses.
You can say shit on TV.
I wonder what they're going to roll, because
TNT, you could totally say shit on TV.
Technically, on
yes.
USA, you can too.
Yeah.
After 9 o'clock,
yeah.
You can say whatever the fuck you can say fuck, technically.
Not after 9. I think it's after like 11.
I think it's
on
after
the
like
weekends.
10 now. I heard it on it was FX though, so that might be different, but it was one of the FX shows. They dropped an F-bomb.
I swear too much, but I tell my children that I'm a white trash ignoramus and that they should be better than me, and it seems to have been working out so far.
Until you get a note from their school saying, "Hey, Phelan called another girl a cunt." And you're gonna be like, "I'll talk to her," and be like, "Nice,
bruh." Yeah, no,
but like seriously, like keep it on the DL.
No, Phelan's so much of a better person than I am.
Well, yeah,
because I'm literally a white trash ignoramus.
How about your wife? Do you also consider her white trash?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just hoping that your children don't follow in your footsteps of being white trash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's understandable.
Now, I'm not talking like good old boy fucking rebel flag waving white trash. Just like,
No, you're talking about your traditional Central Mass white trash.
Yeah. Much,
Sure.
very lower middle class, lower class,
Upper
getting by, but not like
upper side class.
rich. Yeah.
Getting by but not rich ain't lower class. That's I'd say it's low mid.
Yes.
So you're making moves to
Yeah.
be a better
Oh,
person.
yeah.
Just like AEW is making moves to change the realm
To be better
of
wrestling.
professional wrestling. And I'm so excited right now. Like, I haven't been optimistic about wrestling in a long time. It's like, yeah, there's great stuff out there. There's amazing stuff like Beyond Wrestling and Limitless.
Yeah,
and Wrestling As a Tomorrow and Chaotic. Yeah, I'm just talking about, obviously guys around here.
I gotta buy my American Rana tickets. Did you guys buy
not
yours?
going.
You're not going?
Too far on a
We
Sunday
have
night.
to go.
I can't do Foxwoods on a Sunday.
Fuck, come on, guys. Who am I gonna go with?
I don't know. Tim?
His name's Tom, you dumb
I don't
fuck.
fucking care anymore. He abandoned us. He's dead to me.
Yeah.
I even told him that Matt Riddle said what's up and nothing. There's all,
He doesn't go on Twitter anymore.
there are all these great indie organizations where you can see all this fantastic wrestling, but most of the time, and this is my only complaint about indie wrestling, is most of the time you don't get the production, and I feel
American
like
Rana production.
that is such a big part of wrestling, is that over the top production, fucking pyro and lights and just like cool like gimmicked entrances and stuff like that. Like Jericho's entrance last night was phenomenal, and and that's the only thing you lose with the indies, is that high production value. And that's not saying they are bad, in any way, because I am a huge indie wrestling supporter, especially like Beyond and Chaotic and like I said, like Limitless.
We gotta make another trip north.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And yeah, we'll make plans after. But yeah, dude, it's at 3 p.m.
Till 8 p.m., then it's like a 2-hour drive home.
No, it's at fucking Foxwoods.
Yeah,
only
that's like
like
a
an
2-hour
hour.
drive.
Yeah, you wiener.
You're a winner. I can just watch it live on independentwrestling.tv.
Yeah, it's not the same.
You know what else isn't the same?
AEW?
AEW.
It's 52 miles away, and you take 395 the whole fucking way. We live in it's 59 minutes. We live in what I consider quite literally the best town in Massachusetts, because every fucking highway is right here. Like,
see, I
love it.
I disagree.
When you travel for work, it's the best.
I feel like where I lived in Millbury was better, because I lived right
Right,
on
where
Route
you
20.
lived in Millbury, I live in Auburn. Like,
Yeah.
all the highways are right
Being
there.
on Route 20 in central Massachusetts is key.
Yeah.
Being near Route 20 in general, because Route 20, if you want, for people who don't know, you can jump on Route 20 and drive to Oregon.
It's true. Richmond, Oregon.
Like, you can just
I don't
drive
think
across
these
the fucking country.
Fucking people want to hear this.
I agree.
That was episode 71, motherfuckers.
7-1.
71. And it's going to be called Fucks Up with Lex Luger.
Yeah, what's up with that guy?
You guys have a great night. Enjoy your wrestlings. AEW, WWE, Indies. I don't care.
AEW.
Fucking
AEW.
have fun. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Love you. Bye.
WWE, bring back blading.
Every Wednesday on the Wrestling Perspectives Network, RJ and Michael Berry Sr. come to play on the Revisionist Booking. They rebook a wrestling pay-per-view from the past and try to make their cards awesome. Follow them on Twitter at Revisionist Book, at Michael Berry Sr., and go over to iTunes, Stitcher, and blogtalkradio.com/Wrestling Perspective Network and subscribe. head over to whatforapparel.com/revisionistbook and check out their great apparel as well. And as always, you're welcome, and let the revisionist revolution begin.
Run away if you see me. Don't even say my name. Don't think that you can know me. Don't try and play that game. Every day that